Start your week with a triple shot of good vibes. This is the Project Joy podcast. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas. Thanks for joining me. What's up, everybody? Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am hoping that you can hear me well because I realized that I connected my microphone after the fact this morning. And now I'm sitting here going, I hope to God they can hear me, because that's the kind of I have been sitting here giggling all morning. I don't know what is wrong with me. So I just want to say I apologize ahead of time for any silliness that may occur on the show today. Why am I like this? I don't know. I feel much better today. Yesterday was a whole day. I started off really well and then did not feel good yesterday at all. And I had Love Rally last night, which means I ended up in my bed and then had to jump on and do Love Rally and really try to pull it together. And I finally got some better sleep last night, which is exactly what I needed. I want to take a minute this morning. Okay, Judith can hear me. I'm so happy. Thank you, Judith, for joining us this morning. Good morning, my friend. How are you today? If you're just jumping in, this is Project Joy Live. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and this is the triple shot of good vibes that you need every Monday morning. And I want to remind you that you can, of course, and go to projectjoypodcast.com and click that join live button where you can join me live on air to share a moment of joy or gratitude. I know I've got a friend of mine waiting in the wings today, so we're going to get to that shortly. Good morning to all of my friends over on TikTok as well. Really glad to have you all here this morning. So listen, my joy today is absolutely that I am here with you this morning because, like I said, yesterday was a challenge. And what I found more and more, to get a little scriptural for you all for a moment, joy really does come in the morning. When you have a rough day, when things are challenging, when you get up the next day and you feel better, it's like, you know, it's that sigh of relief. And that's one of the things that I've really leaned on throughout the last several years of dealing with health issues that I have over the years, is that remembering in those moments how that breath of fresh air feels when I get to the other side of it. So when it's really hard, it's about, leaning on those moments where I felt really good and remembering that's like, and knowing that joy comes in the morning, right? I want to give a quick shout out to my friends over on TikTok, because there is a guy, Josh Metcalf. I'm just going to call him out really quickly. That always is coming in my lives and saying the nicest thing, reminding me to be who I am and to keep shining and being sweet. Oh my gosh. Like, he's the best. All of the people that jump in to my TikTok lives are just the most positive, uplifting people. And I just have to shout them out this morning because I don't know what other people get in their lives, but I have the best people. So you should just come to mine is what I'm saying. But anyway, it's going to be a great day today. It is wonderful. Judith was commenting, feeling good is such a beautiful, wonderful gift. It is. And I think part of my joy is having it. Now, this shows you the contrast of life, right? Part of my joy is having experienced the really bad things, and the pain and the frustration and all of those human things, and knowing how bad it can get, but also it gives me so much more appreciation for feeling good. It gives me so much more appreciation for feeling amazing. And that's not to say that you have to experience the bad in order to experience joy. I just want to be really clear about that, because a lot of times we manifest that stuff. We say, how could we possibly experience joy if we don't know what it's like on the other side? I'm going to call everybody out on that. You don't need to experience bad to experience joy. However, disclaimer, asterisk, small print at the bottom, some of us are stubborn. Some of us are stubborn and we don't get the picture unless we are kicked in the rear end 800 times. And then we go, oh, yes, the joy. That's what's important here. So I just want to point that out. While you don't need to experience the contrast of joy in order to experience joy, some of us need to do that. Okay. So I'm going to take a quick break really quickly this morning. And we're going to be back here in a few minutes for more Project Joy Live. What's up, everyone? It's Jessica here, your host of the Project Joy podcast and, of course, The Breakthrough Show. I want to take a moment and thank all of our supporters here at the show. With your financial support, we are able to expand the show and reach more people with the hopes of inspiring our audience members to change their lives for the better and know they are supported during times of breakthrough. We welcome our one-time contributions to our show by sending a PayPal to business@thebreakthroughshow.com, or you can join us at patreon.com/thebreakthroughshow, where you'll be rewarded for your regular contribution with things like our exclusive community, Soul Connection Collective, merchandise discounts, fun shout-outs on the show, and more. On behalf of everyone here at The Breakthrough Show and its network, we thank you for your generous support. And now, back to the podcast. Welcome back to Project Joy Live. I'm so excited to be here with you this morning. I'm going to turn my ticker off there so you can see all of the beautifulness on the screen. How are you today? I want to quickly say thank you to everybody who's watching on Facebook and YouTube land, and also on our partner E360 TV. You guys are amazing, and I just really appreciate you watching. Of course, I love you on Facebook and YouTube because you can interact with me in the comments, and that is my favorite because I don't like having a one-side conversation, which is not what we're doing today because my friend is here. I see him waiting in the green room, enjoying our free donuts and coffee that we have here behind the scenes. Please welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show, my friend Jimmy DeLuzio is here.
Hey, woo! Applause.
Yes, all the applause. How are you this morning, my friend?
Good morning. I am doing well, and I tell you what, you're right. I'm listening to you in the beginning of your stay saying, you don't really have to dip down to feel those highs, and popping onto your show and like feeling your good energy, it just really pumps you up in the morning. This is a great show to catch on Monday morning for anybody. If Monday mornings is your thing, or if you're a slouch on Monday, this show will pick you up. Jessica is the fire. I mean, I'm telling you, you're the real deal. You're the real deal.
It's interesting because first of all, I appreciate all of that. Thank you so much. I sometimes convince myself that I'm here for the compliments on Monday morning because Cheryl's always saying beautiful things, and when Kevin comes on, he's saying, I'm telling you, I'm like, I will soak it in. Y'all are teaching me how to receive, and I appreciate that. But it's hard sometimes, like when I was talking about yesterday of having a bad day, like when I had to show up last night in the midst of feeling really physically lousy, it was people expect me to be this, because they see me on the show. And so when I'm not this, hey, good morning. When I'm not this, it is like, are you okay? Is
What's
something wrong?
Are you all right? Yeah. Yeah.
And I was trying to convince everybody last night that like I just needed sleep because the night before I had not slept. So it really wasn't as big of a deal as I'm sure it portrayed on camera, but it was like, I just need to sleep. And sure enough, I slept, and here I am all crazy this morning.
That's awesome.
So how do you, Jimmy, when you're in, as Anne of Green Gables so beautifully put it in the depths of despair, like how do you like show up if you still need to show up during that?
Coffee.
Yeah. Coffee. No. Hashtag coffee.
Well, it depends on the situation. I mean, the depths of despair, that's a pretty strong phrase. That's not just I forgot my key or something like that's pretty deep. Depths of despair is you really got to rally the troops in that thing. I'd say if you're going through something like that, call your friends, do the things that make you feel good. I mean, if you're really dealing with something like that, depression or whatnot, exercise, getting outside, doing your favorite hobby, listening to great music. That's actually, I say that's on the top 10, maybe the top three is
Mm,
putting on your favorite song, that song that makes you sing, that song you know the words to, that song that makes you want to move your body. I mean, that's a great way to, I think, bring you back to life. It is
mhm.
music for me, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, don't you agree? I mean, isn't music kind of something that really just you can be in a bad mood and your favorite song comes on the radio and you're just like, yeah, you turn it up, you sing loud, you look at the people in the car next to you and you sing to them, it freaks them out a little bit.
That's me. That is me. I am getting, by the way, I'm going to get a karaoke microphone and I'm going to sing with people at stoplights.
That's a great idea. That's a show right there. That's a show.
It is a viral TikTok waiting to
Yeah.
happen. Let me just say, I want to give a quick shout out this morning to my friend Robinson Prince from over on TikTok. Listen, that's the thing is like sometimes when things go wrong, whether it's health or technology, we know how technology can go sometimes. Um, if our plan is to do something good, and it's stressing us out more to do something good, we should probably just relax. Like it's not, it's better for us to show up fully or to just roll with it and have fun than to get all upset about it and make something that's supposed to be a joyful situation not so joyful. And so that's part of what I did last night too, is when I wasn't feeling 100%, I put on some music. I was jamming out with my people last night, and it was a rough jam session, but we were doing it anyway. My friend Anne Marie made it. Hi, Anne Marie. Good morning. How are you this morning, my friend? We have speaking of technology, I've said lately it's been like a Jessica retrograde is what's happening. And so I've had to try to find the joy in having to use my kid's computer because mine bit the dust.
Oh no.
And then I bought a new one, and right out of the box, it didn't work.
You are in retrograde. That sounds appropriate.
Right? I'm saying. So what's something that's bringing you joy today, Jimmy?
Well, you've caught me on an appropriately very joyful weekend and Monday morning here. I like to learn new things. So I started learning things. I do a lot of stuff. I'm a graphic artist. I do energy work. I help people start online business, all this kind of stuff. But last night I started to connect with a new group of people that are they're kind of spread out across the world. And we had a great call last night and we talked and we did some, healings and readings for each other. And it's always great. It's so interesting that you can jump onto your phone right here, turn on the video and talk to somebody in the Dominican Republic and Costa Rica and in Finland at the same time. It's absolutely mind-boggling.
Yes.
And we had the best discussion and trading some skills. It was just kind of like a meeting new friends kind of a thing. And it made me feel so good. I was literally so full of joy at the end of that. And we got off we talked from about 9 to 12. So, and it was all high energy. Everybody was just back and forth. So I think one of the things that's important is being around people that kind of share your joy and being around people that lift you up, so, and you in turn kind of lift them up, the energy exchange and the trade back and forth. So
right.
I'm really joyful for good people and happy people that want to share and that want to connect. It really, it makes your life joyful. It makes life worth living, and it makes you just feel like going out there and doing it. Getting up every morning. I mean, it's the basic stuff, but it's the best stuff, really.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I want to say a quick hi to Cheryl this morning.
Hey, Cheryl.
She's saying, this is great. And good morning, Jessica and James. James got
good morning.
a little. And my friend Robinson Prince is saying, you are 100% right. And Anne was saying, Jimmy, I need to be friends with you. She's trying to learn graphic art. So
come on in.
Come on in.
My Facebook is actually Arcturus Galaxian. You can connect me there. It's a strange name, but that's a book that I'm writing. I know the main character, but
Oh, see, I never knew
Yeah,
the
yeah.
reason behind that. I never
It's
knew the
so
reason.
mysterious, right? It's so mysterious.
It
So
is. We're
yeah,
like, who is
Arcturus
he?
Galaxian is the title and the main character of a book that I'm writing. So that's why that is that.
That's very exciting. I know Anne from the TikTok, and so I will connect her with you absolutely because she's probably like,
Absolutely.
how are we spelling that? So I will get with her.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure, for sure. I will do that. So Kevin Kiley's going to pop on for a minute this morning as well, but he has had tons of customers in and out this morning. So he popped on and then he's like customer and then he pops back off. So we'll see him here eventually, hopefully this morning. You're welcome, Anne. I will definitely connect you guys. Jimmy and I have been friends for a little while now. Like, when did we meet?
It's been a little bit. It's been a couple of years now. I couldn't
Yeah.
honestly tell you the date. I'm sorry, but I don't remember our
I,
anniversary specifically. But it has been a
I'm
while. It has
so
been a while.
offended.
I know.
I wanted flowers and all of that. Like, why?
Yeah.
I'm
But
really
it has been
upset
a
now.
couple years following you on the show, on the
Yeah.
Breakthrough Show, and on the Joy podcast, and all the cool stuff that you're doing. Yeah, it's been a little bit. I'm going to say it's been 3 years at least.
Yeah. Well,
I think.
it's something like that because I met you initially in on one of the calls with the Witcher crew.
Yeah, yeah,
And
Calvin Witcher. Hmm.
yeah, and that was a little bit and I've known them for a few years, so it's kind of, it's a full circle moment,
It
or
is. It is.
Jimmy.
It feels
So
good.
it does. It does. I appreciate that. And it's been so cool to see your growth over time. And one of the things that I really love when you start reminiscing with someone is that you obviously remember like times when you met and times you had together, and you can like kind of take yourself out of the situation and see the other person's growth, but you also see your own growth. And to see, when you remember different times, do you find any joy in that as well? Like if you sit and reminisce with someone, that you kind of look back at yourself and say, I've come pretty far from then.
Absolutely, of course. Yeah. Looking back, and that's important too. I think it's important for your own life to be able to look back and see those moments where you've kind of grown from, and reminiscing. Sorry, I got a little busted here. To look back and to see, reminiscing, remembering the good times, the fun things that you've gone through, and also, like you said, looking back and in retrospect and looking, wow, look what I was doing then, but look where I am now. It's so wonderful to be here, to appreciate the changes, to appreciate the things that you've made it through, even the struggles, to say, wow, that was a hard time, but I made it through that. Holy cow, I'm strong for being here, So
Yeah.
those are good things to remember. The good times and the bad times make you who you are, and it's all about the growth and what you can learn from it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one thing I was going to ask you, which I will circle back to in just a minute. I want to give a good morning to my Care Bear friend in the world. Brandon Croucher is here. Love, love, love all of this. Keep up the amazing work. We love Brandon. I know it's like a Care Bear stare.
The Care Bear.
100%. I love me some Brandon. Y'all wait until he's on the Breakthrough Show this season. It is hilarious. You're going to need tissues, not because you're sad. You're going to need tissues for the laughter. You're going to cry. You're laughing so hard. So really excited to have Brandon on later on in the season of the Breakthrough Show this year. Super excited for that. But yeah, circling around back to what you were saying, I was going to ask you, like, as you're reminiscing and you think about things that are tough to remember, how do you find the joy in that? But I think what you were saying was, knowing that you've gotten through it and you're on the other side of it now, that's where the joy can be found in that, right?
Absolutely. The resilience of the human spirit it's incredible what we can go through and keep on going. And I think that's well, it's almost as good, maybe even better, to look back and see that you made it through a struggle, and that you've made it through it, that you survived, that you not only survived, but you thrived, and go, wow, I was in the depths of despair, at that point. And it was hard, and I didn't have any money, and, the lights were off, or you were eating ramen for a week, or whatever the thing was. But then you're like, look, but now, I'm in a good place. Things are going good. And it's good to it's enlivening for the soul, and it's good to know that you have strength, and it makes you more capable to conquer things in the future, to say, you know what, I remember back then when I was trying to do this and trying to do that, and I did it. So I see this thing in front of me here, and I want to achieve that goal. I made it last time through something just as hard. So yeah, let's try it. Let's give it a shot. It lets
Yeah.
you be able to take risks as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Anne Marie is saying, I'm grateful I'm still alive. And that's kind of what I was talking
Wow,
about in
yeah.
the beginning of, when you're going through something and then you go, oh, it's that relief of thank God I'm still here. Thank God I made it. Right.
Yeah. You wake up
It
in the
can
morning,
be,
put your feet on the floor, you're like, yes, Lord.
yes, exactly.
We're
Exactly.
here. Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes that mentality can be hard for some people just because if they're in the midst of something right now, so if they're saying like, well, that's good that you said that, Jimmy, I can't put my feet on the floor because of XYZ, and
Right.
maybe they're really struggling with something, that they're going through health wise or something like that. It is hard. I never want to diminish the human aspect of what we go through sometimes, because it can be a whole thing.
Yeah, you're
It
right.
can be a whole thing. And so I never want to tell people, you just need to throw out everything you're feeling on a human level and just be joyful, just be grateful for what you have, Jimmy. Because we don't want to do that, but we can be frustrated with our situation, but also joyful that it's not worse. And we can be angry about what's going on with us, but we can also be happy that we're still here. We can experience more than one thing at the same time. And I know that some of you guys that have been with me for a minute know that I have been pounding this into the ground lately, but it's so important because there's people that, they walk around and say, well, this happened, so you should be this way and this way only. And that's not real life. Like, do you find that you're able to experience lots of things at one time, Jimmy?
Lots of things at one time. That's an interesting concept. Have maybe different levels of those things. Sure. Like if like you said, if you can't put, maybe you're bedridden, you can't put your feet on the ground, or maybe you have just experienced something and you're in those things that we were talking about, the depth of despair again. If you're experiencing the lows of life, don't feel guilty that you can't experience high level of joy at that moment. Just sometimes, well, it's healthy to feel what you're feeling at the moment. You don't always want to force yourself to feel, just like Jessica was saying, like what you're saying. If something bad is happening and there's something sorrowful and it legitimately requires, or it's relevant to feel sadness or mourning, or or loss of that nature, feel that. I mean, there's a subtle kind of joy in being able to express your sadness and to feel your pain. So I get what you're saying.
Mm.
Like, so you can feel that. Well, like, I mean, let's just, well, let's just say someone that you love passed away. There's no joy in that. And like you said, for someone to go, well, just feel glad that you had that experience with them. That's
Right.
true. That's true. But feel the pain of your loss. You don't want to dwell on it too long, but feel that stuff. And you can be joyful that you had that life with that person, or you can be joyful to some degree that you are still alive. But it is important to, like you say, feel the full range of emotions at the time that they're appropriate.
Right. Right. And we talked a little bit about that on the show last week, specifically about the grief side of it, because, and I was actually asking other people, on TikTok yesterday, because I read my story in the book Shine about my brother's passing and the things that I experienced. And of course, in that moment when I walked in the hospital room and my brother passed right in front of me, there was a intense, like, things that I've never experienced, that I've never had before, feelings that I've never felt before in that moment. But there was also this overwhelming, at the same time, joy that he was not hurting anymore, because I watched him in pain 3 days prior to that, like just horrible. There was intense joy that he was not in pain. And there was also, as the days went on, joy in getting to reminisce about the times that we had. And there was joy in, over the last 11 years since he died, there has been joy in that moment, allowing me to find myself, which is what that moment did for me. And so I have been, but of course, in that moment, there was just the large range of emotions and things that I experienced. And I think it's really important to acknowledge that. I want to quickly go to the comments here. So my friend in chat was saying, don't knock ramen, Jimmy. It's gotten us through a lot of our days.
I've got ramen in the cabinet right now. I love it. I love it.
I mean, listen, you do what you got to do.
I eat it through the lows and the highs. So.
Absolutely. Robinson Prince has some amazing comments as well. That time doesn't last. The relationships are really important as well. And we'll have to talk about your story one day. I would absolutely love to hear it. Cheryl was saying a burst of positive energies and exciting perspective. Awesome synergy. We love that. Cheryl was saying joy in the moment. Things may not always be going well, yet when we tap into being present and aware, we can move through it and move forward step by step. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think Anne was laughing about the ramen. So yeah, it's one of those things where I've just been more, I think, aware of experiencing more than one thing at a time. And I think that for me comes from this ability that I've had to take myself out of a situation energetically. Like I'm still very much here physically and experiencing something, but I've trained myself to sort of come out here, come outside of myself and look in to a situation. And that helps me a lot as far as compartmentalizing the different things that I'm feeling at once and understanding why I'm feeling that way and giving myself permission to feel that way. That it was okay when my brother died for me to laugh and have fun and, do all of that at the same time. And I think that that's really important for us to not say, well, somebody died, so you have to be sad. You just have to, and that we can experience all the different things. Chad was saying, just because we look in the mirror doesn't always mean we're going to find ourselves. That's an interesting.
Oh, interesting.
That is Chad getting all deep this morning.
That's cosmic on it. Yeah, that's interesting.
We go from ramen to mirror work. Just like that with Chad. I love it. I love it. We can talk about that one day. That's a whole other thing. Now you know where I just went.
Well, like you were saying though, it's okay to say, okay, if something bad is happening, you're allowed to feel good. You don't have to be like, I don't want to say guilted, but maybe just kind of with the expectation of, well, she's supposed to be sad now. All this stuff going on, it's just because you're smiling doesn't mean you're masking your feelings of grief or something else. It's okay to bring yourself out of those things at any time you want to. And just being honest with who you are and how you feel at the time. I think that's one of the great things. I mean, to be joyful that you can feel any emotion. I mean, that you have the ability to feel emotions is pretty joyful. It's cool to be a human being,
Right. Cheryl was saying people manage their grief process in different ways, and there is no rule book to govern our grief or anyone else's. That's 100% true. And how I wanted to sort of bring this around together with what we're talking about is how can we create a space of joy and be better leaders in this area is to when someone shares about whatever they're going through, whether it's a situation or an emotion that they're feeling, as leaders, one of the things we do that can be so damaging is saying, you must feel XYZ. We have to start asking questions instead and saying, how do you feel? Because if we genuinely care about the person and their experience, we have to stop projecting. Because if you say to someone, you must feel so sad right now, or you must feel so angry about that, if they're not, first of all, if they're not feeling that way, it can make them feel like they're doing something wrong. It can make why am I not processing that in that kind of way? If they do feel that way, then you're adding in to them being stuck to possibly being stuck into that. So if you saying, you must be so sad right now, I'm then validated by here we go with the validation conversation, Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm then validated by my feelings in that. And so I'm going to be more likely to stay in that because that validation is a warm and fuzzy feeling. Right. And so Cheryl was asking, suggestive emotions, Chad, too. How do you feel? And ask, how may I support you? Absolutely. I think we need to stop projecting, even if we have the best intentions of saying we're trying to be supportive. I can't tell you how many times I have mentioned to someone, I'm not feeling well today. And it's becomes a pity party. And that's not what I'm looking for at all. That does not help me. It helps me to stay in that, because then they're going, oh, are you okay? What can I do for you? No, we're not doing that. Don't coddle me.
Different people need different things. Different people take different, it's like, what lifts you up,
Yeah. So this is my friend Josh from over on TikTok. He found us on YouTube, said, love you all, because if people can hate for no reason, we can love for no reason. Always keep your crown high. And I love your face, Joshua, even though I can't see it. I love that. So Jimmy, do you have anything cool going on right now that you want to share about?
Well, I am trying to write this book. I've got a chapter done. That is like my new thing that I'm doing right now, is my book. And I don't know if this is too out there to just mention, but like I said, this group of people that I met recently, these group of healers, and we are kind of, it's almost like a little, what can I say, like a little wizards group of people practicing our reading abilities and channeling people, and to just step way out on a limb and just say, like, kind of talking to past loved ones, or to other beings that are around. If anybody isn't familiar, it's called channeling. So channeling beings and healing each other and getting in tap with our energy to help facilitate healings in other people and bring back messages from across the veil, as they say. So I'm in a group where we're practicing that, and that is really fun. So that's something new I'm doing in addition to writing my book. And writing my book is on the long line of that, because this Arcturus Galaxian character, the book is also titled Arcturus Galaxian. And the concept is continuous life, that we live outside our bodies and we live after our bodies die, before they're born. So it's like following that life through multiple lives and across multiple dimensions. It's such a great story. And of course, in any story where the main character, of course, in its life has some kind of parallels with mine. So it's really interesting. I can't wait to get a bunch of that out and on the internet. I'm so excited about that story.
Yes, absolutely. It's always going to be, it's kind of like birthing a child when you're writing something and you're working on it. It takes so long, and then finally it's here and everybody gets to read it. And then there's a whole slew of emotions that come along with that as well when it's finally done, right?
Right. I mean, it's in the idea stage and it's just getting out onto paper. So I've got the beginning and the middle and some of the end, and trying to put it all together and write it. But it's fun. It's good.
Yes. Chad saying many books were started from ramen-filled stomachs.
It's fueled by ramen. And you can get the top ramen that's got that little bag of vegetables you can rip open and put in there. That's great. I love it.
Hey, I started making my own ramen, which I love. I go and get the noodles from the Asian store, and they have lots of the little ingredients there that they don't have in the regular store that I can throw in there. And only thing I'm disappointed about the one here is that it doesn't have as much of the fresh kind of more exotic produce that the old Asian store that we used to live near had, because I used to be able to get like the gigantic king oyster mushrooms and but I can't get that here. I'm sad. I have to order them online, and then you're like, where are they coming from?
Right. There is a real I'll call a real ramen restaurant here in town. It's called Fin 2, and that big bowl of ramen and an egg. I mean, real legit made ramen by a chef is absolutely delicious. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So good.
I need to We need to come up to Tennessee at some point and go find, so, because there's a ton of, because we eat plant-based, so there's a ton of plant-based restaurants in Nashville. And I had stopped through when I went up to Michigan in 2018, at the end of the year. I went through Nashville and I was like sending pictures of all the yummy food I was eating to my family. I'm so mean. And so I told them, I said, one day we're going to go together and enjoy it together. But for now, I'm going to eat it and enjoy it.
That's always the best part of sharing food, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Josh was saying that he loves your art on your walls.
Oh, thank you. Some of those, actually, those two red ones are mine. I did those two. That's Patrick Nagel, and that's a friend of mine that did a painting on that. But
awesome.
Thank you very much.
I was going to ask you if some of those were yours, because I thought that you said that you had painted a little bit.
I do. Those are actually digital. Digital.
Oh,
prints. I do a lot of stuff. I took a photo and kind of manipulated digitally. Those particular ones right there. But I do a lot of stuff. I do painting. I like. I'm not really like I'm more of an exhibitionist artist than, I don't have tons of stuff. But I like to do it for fun, and I give a lot of my art away. Actually, I've only sold a few things, but I just love the process of art. Doing art is great. It's creative.
Yeah, and Jimmy's very much like me too, where we like all the things. we like the art, we like the music, we like the writing, we like to do interviews like this.
Yeah. I think that's called a Renaissance man. I don't know.
What's wrong with y'all mushrooms in Tennessee, Chad?
Don't eat our Tennessee mushrooms. Oh, you got to be careful with those mushrooms up here. I mean, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I've people that I know that go look for like the wild mushrooms. I've never done that before. Have you done that?
Yes.
Wild mushrooms.
Wild mushrooms. I mean, like wild mushrooms or just mushrooms grown in the wild? I mean, the
direction this show just went, you guys.
I have looked for wild edibles. I've actually was on a hiking thing with one time where, you go through the forest and the guide tells you, hey, you can eat this plant, you can eat this mushroom. So it's actually pretty interesting to know the things you can't. Then there's apparently, well, not apparently, but absolutely legitly, there are poisonous mushrooms out there. So if you don't know what you're picking out of in the forest, I would be careful to just start, picking things and throwing stuff in your mouth randomly if you don't know what they are. But but there is great Morel mushrooms. Yeah, those are great. Those big old delicious. I don't know if I could pick one out, but I have heard of those and they are good. I mean, it's a great, if you're out in the woods and you know which mushrooms to eat out there, they're a good source of nutrition. They are definitely good for you.
Yeah. Yes, that's what one of the things my naturopath had wanted me to eat a cup of mushrooms every day, like the Chinese mushrooms, because they're so full of nutrition, like shiitake mushrooms and things like that. They're so good for you. And so I was in the natural food store and I got this mushroom kit and thought that I was going to grow some oyster mushrooms. And I know, listen, they started growing and I was so proud, and I ate one. And it did not taste like an oyster mushroom is supposed to taste. And I wondered if I let it like grow too long or something. And I don't know, but I was scared.
I don't know enough about mushrooms, to say like when a mushroom is ripe or not. I don't know. Does it have a shelf life out there in the woods? I don't know. I always figured a mushroom was a mushroom. You just like, there it is. Eat it, not like that's not quite right, like a banana or something.
It did not taste right, and I was concerned about possible side effects. I didn't know. It scares me, to be honest, because typically, like my friend Chad here, he hunts his mushrooms at the Piggly Wiggly. I mean,
they're labeled there, so that's good.
Trumpet mushrooms, those are good. I've had lots of different mushrooms. I just don't think I'll ever grow them again because it scares me. It scares me because you don't know what you're going to get.
It's a skill like anything else, I believe. Yeah, mushroom growing.
Yes, I told y'all this was going to be a silly show today. Jimmy, thank you so much for being on with me this morning, my friend. You're always a joy to talk to, and then you tend to be the embodying joy in the morning like I do as well. And so I loved having you here today.
Well, thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate being here. It's fun to spread joy with you. So thank you.
Thank you. I know everybody, make sure that you comment and tell us how much you love Jimmy, because he will see that. And, we do that here. We want to give the joy back to the people that are on and spread the joy as well. So Jimmy, thank you for being here. And we are going to be back in just a minute for Project Joy Live.
Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every month for exclusive programming, where we invite you to go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com.
Welcome back to Project Joy Live. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas. This has been a super fun show this morning. I want to give a shout out to Jimmy. That is his Facebook name right there, because that is the book he's working on. But that is Jimmy right there that was on the show. Thank you so much for being here today, my friend. I also want to go through some of these comments. I don't know what it is. When I logged on to TikTok this morning, I just giggly today. I don't know what is going on. And I suppose I should not question it, because it's funny to me and super fun. So that has definitely spilled over into the show today. You guys have gotten good laughs. See, everybody loves Jimmy. Anne Marie loves Jimmy. Cheryl loves Jimmy. Judith loves Jimmy. Chad loves Jimmy to a whole case of ramen. That is amazing. We love Jimmy like a whole case of ramen. That's it. That is it. Okay. So for my TikTok friends that are joining me on Facebook or YouTube today, I want you to comment in that you think Jimmy should get TikTok and come join us, because so many people, yes, Cheryl, too many wild mushrooms. That's absolutely. And that is big. A whole case of ramen is huge. So that's a lot of love, to be honest, Jimmy. Y'all need to tell Jimmy to come on the TikTok with us, because you would love, like, Robinson is on there with me. Josh is on there with me. Chad is on there with me. Anne is on there with me. I have lots of TikTok friends that come join me on live in the morning, and they are so fun. But you need to tell him to come on there with us. Every show is super. Robinson said, thank you so much, my friend. I did miss you last night. I did miss you on there last night. However, I know that things happen sometimes. It's the middle of the night for you when we do Love Rally. So I just applaud you for being there anytime at all. Yes. Hashtag Jimmy case of ramen. Hashtag Jimmy case of ramen. And Anne saying he should get TikTok. Peer pressure is what it's about here. There we go. We did it, you guys. We have accomplished our goal. Oh, it's so good. Hey, you guys, I have so many people jumping in over on TikTok right now, too. Speaking of that, it has been a great show. Jimmy, thank you so much for being here today. Yeah, TikTok is addictive. We're all on the same Jimmy TikTok. There we go. It's happening. So I want to thank you guys all for joining me in the comments today. I want to thank my friends over on TikTok. I will be with you guys in just a couple minutes. And thank all of you for being in the comments. Thank you, Jimmy, for being here. Thank you, Kevin, for trying to be here. He's overwhelmed with customers today, but I'm really excited because I want to remind you guys that the last Thursday of the month, we have our new Throwback Thursday show with myself and Kevin Kiley. This month it's in 2 Thursdays, on Thursday, March 25th at 5 p.m. Central Time. And I'm super excited because Jimmy got our trivia question right the last episode. So he's going to be joining us on Throwback Thursday on March 25th, 2021 at 5 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Eastern. So you'll see Kevin Kiley, myself, and you'll also see Jimmy, which is going to be a lot of fun. So really excited about that. Thank you guys all for watching or listening wherever you are now in the world. And I want to remind you to make joy a priority in your life today and every day. We'll see you next time. You've been listening to the Project Joy podcast with your host, Jessica Dugas. We'll see you again next Monday and every Monday for another episode to start your week off right.